deals with clients like NAZ, Shell, Rajagiri Business School, IEM, Advani Group, Z, etc. He completed his post-graduation diploma in data science from Manipal University. He completed MSc International Business from France, and he also done many certifications. He has overall 13 plus years of professional experience in the field of data analytics, sales, operations, and customer engagement. He provides data analytics solutions, which the part of business excellence practice of at KPMG in India, which delivers advanced course in the area of analytics, machine learning, artificial intelligence, deep learning model, etc. Yes, his wife is our Bangalore chapter alumni, Bijisha from 2006 batch. Amit Bhai, it is my privilege to invite you for the session. Over to you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Arjun. I think I will know that they are talking to human. I hope you guys are able to see me.
Yes,
Yeah,
for me. Yeah.
yeah, that's me. Arjun, thanks a lot for this initiative, and thanks for inviting me to this forum. Uh, I'm really happy that I would rather say I'm really happy to see students from various backgrounds trying to learn something during this pandemic time. We will be taking, I mean, for the next 40, 45 minutes or so, we will be taking you through something very interesting which is required from a data science or a data analytics point of view, which we normally call it as scrapping. Okay, the web scrapping. I'm going to give you a small background about that, and then I'm going to show you a small demo how we can do a data scrapping and all that stuff in Python. Okay, of course, I do understand that some of you might not be aware about a programming language Python, or some of you will be might be currently working on Python. Okay, so but nevertheless, the purpose of this webinar or this series is not to make you guys expert in data scrapping. The purpose of this series is to purely take you through that there is something like our data scrapping as a concept which is widely used in industry, and which is one of the skill set. If any one of you are looking forward for a career in analytics or a data science, that's one of the key skill sets which companies look forward for. Well, on that note, I'm going to pause my video because I'm, as usual, I'm traveling right now. I'm in your kind of your state. To be honest, I'm in Kerala right now, and I do not have a very good bandwidth of internet over here. So when I'm going to share my screen, I don't want it to hang or a bit of lag and all that stuff. So I'm going to pause my video and I'm going to start sharing my screen. Just let me do that. All right, to start the day, okay, to start, let me just take a confirmation from each one of you. Am I audible? You can put in the chat window, say yes or no. Yes, perfect. And also, let me take a concern in case if, let me just do a bit of an adjustment so that I can put what I wanted to show you along with your chat. Yeah, so that things goes pretty well. Yeah, now I think I am quite okay. Are you guys able to see this Chrome? Are you guys able to see this Chrome? Or to be honest, let's say if I'm going to say, are you guys able to see this Flipkart coming up? Okay, fantastic. Let me ask you a very simple question. Have you guys see, this is what I was talking about, the bandwidth. Okay, but nevertheless, I'm going to continue retrying it. All right. Have you ever heard about this concept known as scrapping? Or to be honest, if we call it about data scrapping. Okay. Have you come across any such term? Okay. And what, according to you, feel is a scrapping all about? And why do we actually need a data scrapping? If I have to ask you in a broader sense, why do we actually need a data scrapping? You can put in a chat window, guys. Let's have a kind of an interactive session over here, because the more we talk, the more we learn, and so on. Yeah, any idea? Okay. All right. Let me just put this way across. When you work, or when you walk into a data analytics environment, or when you work for a client in a data analytics, data science, and so on, you do have a privilege of having, or I would rather say, you do have a kind of an data available to you in data servers, right? You might have heard about SQL server. Some of you might be working on certain structure servers like SQL, MySQL, and all that stuff. Some of you might have also heard about no SQL servers like MongoDB and all that stuff. So I have data available to me in these servers. Then why do I require something known as a scrapping? Now think about a scenario, or let's talk about this. You are working in a company, and your company wants to do some kind of a competitive analysis. For example, let's assume that I'm working for Amazon, and Amazon wants to do a competitive analysis stating that what is the kind of a price a same product is being sold on Flipkart. Do you agree with me, or do you disagree with me that the toughest thing which Amazon will face to understand that what is the price at which the product is being sold on Flipkart versus Amazon, the toughest thing which Amazon will come across will be, how do I collect this data? Do you think Flipkart will give an access to Amazon to go through the entire data and understand that there is a mobile? Let's talk about if I talk about this mobile. Do you actually believe that Flipkart will allow Amazon to go through their entire database and try to do a mapping that the same mobile on Amazon is being sold for 14,000 and Flipkart is selling it for 13,000 and so on? Do you think Flipkart will allow that if Amazon wants to do a kind of a competitive analysis? No, right? Right? So now the biggest problem which arises, in front of me is this. Or before coming to the problem, let me give you another example. Let's assume you are running a company, okay? You are running a company and you are providing a product to your customer, and you want to know how my customers are feeling about my product. What will you do? If you want to know that how your customers are feeling about your product, are your customers feeling it happy, they're not so happy, they liked it, they didn't like much, and so on, what will you do? How will you try to understand whether your customers are happy with your product or not? Yeah, rating, survey. I would write as a feedback, exactly the feedback, the reviews, and all that stuff. So let me just ask you this way, to people like Amar, Josh, Manuraj, and all that. Where will you find the reviews of your customer about your product? Where will you collect the reviews of your customer about your product? Will you collect the reviews from your website or some other way? From e-commerce sites, okay? And what are those e-commerce sites? Like Flipkart, Amazon. Okay, fair enough. So now let's say you are not selling anything through Flipkart or Amazon. You are selling it directly through your portal. Then what will you do? You're not selling anything through Flipkart or Amazon. You have your own e-commerce portal. What will you do? Consumer forums, exactly. Now the point is this: if you go back, might be 2 or 3 years, I think some of you might be surprised to know that there is a big market of a third party platforms just to write reviews and feedback about some product or services which you have gained from the market. I don't know how many of you have heard about this website known as Holiday IQ. Have you heard about this website, Holiday IQ? If you go slightly back and try to identify how this website was born in an Indian market, this website was purely a review platform. When they started their business, they started their business by giving a platform to the consumers. and not to the service providers. They gave their platform to the consumers to come and write the reviews about any hotel, any, any other kind of an packages which they have got from any tours and travels and all that stuff, so that the fellow travelers or the people who are looking to travel some part of an India can go through that and can understand, that whether which hotel should I stay, which hotel is good, and so on. Now, can you tell me, if you are planning to travel, why would you trust a review which is written on Holiday IQ and not written on the website of the hotel? Why would you search, or why would you trust a review which is written on a platform like Holiday IQ rather than trusting on the reviews which is written on the hotel website? Yeah, any idea? Honesty. Exactly. Okay. Now, the biggest advantage of trusting the reviews or the feedback, the biggest advantage of trusting the reviews or the feedback on the third party platforms like Holiday IQ and all that is that the hotel owner or the company which owns the hotel cannot control the bad reviews which are given by the customer. So if you go back and write the reviews on the hotel website and you are not happy with their, with their feedbacks or with the way that they handle the customers, and you want to give some kind of a negative feedback to them, it is purely in their control, it is purely in the control of the hotel, because you are writing something on their website. If they wish, they can publish it. If they wish, they can control it. If they wish, they can moderate it. It could also be a bias. Exactly. Now, when I wanted to know how my customers are feeling, I may go to such websites and I may search for any of the hotels. Okay, I may search any of the hotels, and based on the reviews of this website, I may try to take it a look in terms of how am I doing. Now, but if you are a company, let's assume you are a hotel service provider, you should also be able to understand from the platforms like this, you should also be able to understand what is the feedback of your customers. Now, this particular website, which is your Holiday IQ, will not give an access to you just because you are one of the hotel owner to access the feedback and all that stuff of the customers. So then it is purely my responsibility to somehow go to the reviews, extract those reviews, and try to understand what, what kind of an, feedback, or what kind of an feeling my customer have about my hotel. So let's say, if I'm a owner of this hotel, let's assume I'm a owner of this hotel, and I would like to know how is the feedback, how is the reviews about my hotel by my customer, then I might have to go to this website and I might have to scrap all these reviews which are written over here, all these reviews, 33 guest reviews which are written over here, and I might need to analyze these reviews and then understand what is the pain point of my customer and how I can make them happy. That is where data scrapping comes into picture, or I would rather say that is where the data scrapping is one handy tool in terms of making sure that you understand what your customers are talking about you on a third party platforms. There are various methods of doing a data scrapping. You know what? If I just copy this and open my Word document, and paste this over here, this is also a scrapping which we do on a day in and day out basis, right? This is the simplest form of data scrapping. You copied something from a website and you paste it over here. However, keeping in mind that the feedbacks and the reviews given by the customers might go into millions, or there might be a large volume of such data which need to be collected from n number of websites, it's not practically possible to copy or paste every time. And that's where we take a help of some libraries and packages in Python to scrap that data for us automatically, or I would rather say to scrap that data for us slightly faster. Okay. Now, how does this scrapping happens? I don't know whether, let me just ask you, how many of you have ever come across a concept of HTML? How many of you have ever come across a concept of HTML? Yep. Okay. And what is HTML all about? Or according to you, what do you feel is HTML all about? Okay. Okay. So what according to you is an HTML? It's a web designing language. Perfect. Perfect. And I'm not going to go and make you an HTML expert right now, but when we design a website by using HTML, and even to certain extent, we also use some of the times as JavaScripts. Okay, we give some loopholes in our websites, or so to be honest, we won't call it as loopholes, but we basically call it as a data structures, which help us to extract the data from each of the websites by using something known as key value pair. Or if I talk to you in an HTML language, by using something known as tags and classes. Okay. I can extract the data from this, this Flipkart website by understanding what is tag and what is classes. Let me just quickly explain you what is tags and what is classes over here and how they are useful for us. Can you tell me right now how many how many boxes of how many boxes of mobile you see over here? You see, this is one box, this is one container. In a HTML language we call them as container. One container, two, three, four, five, six, seven, and so on. How many such containers you are seeing on first page? How many such containers of this Redmi i6 you are seeing on the first page? 24 containers, right? And how many such pages do I have? How many such pages do I have? I can scroll it at the bottom and I can see there are n number of such pages. Each page giving you a result of how many? 24 items. What do you think is common in these 24 items? What do you think is common in these 24 items if you just slightly go and try to observe each one of them? What do you think is common in this container versus this container? Don't tell me the name of the product and all that stuff. Okay, from the structure point of view, what do you think is common in all these containers or in all these 24 product? The data structure, exactly. Now how that is common, you see, each one of them has on the left hand side, on the extreme left, this is my entire container. Where my cursor will go, this is my entire one container. This is my entire one container. Now in this one container, the extreme left part of the container is an image. The middle part of the container consists of the heading or the product name, which is here. Then there is some ratings over here. Then there is some reviews over here. And then there is a small description about the product, which is here. And sorry, my bad. And then the extreme right, of the container contains the amount part. If I just want to understand how this structure is, how this data structure is being built up, I can just do a right click on this page, go to the inspect option, and I will be loaded somewhere over here. Okay, this is the structure of my this HTML page. You see, when I move my cursor this side, only the part which is being defined over here as the structure get highlighted, and so on. Right now, let me just give you a quick example. So for example, if I wanted to access, I'm gonna do this inspect option over here. For example, if I wanted to access this name of the product, if I wanted to access this name of the product, the name of the product is stored in this entire page. I would say in the entire website of Flipkart, the name of the product is stored with the tag known as div. Can you see over here? The tag of the product name is div, and the class is what? Class is what? Underscore 3WU53N. These are the unique values which are given to each of the product name. It is not only the first product name. I just copy this for the time being. Just remember, for the first container, the product name tag is div, and for the first container, the the product container name or the product name class is this. Just remember that for the time being. Let's say if I go to the second one, what do I see for the second one? Is it same or different? Is it same or different as the first one? You see, the tag is div and the class is underscore 3WU5 and so on, right? Even if I go to the last product of any page, let's say I'm going to go to the fifth page. I will go to the fifth page, and in fifth page, I wanted to know this product name. You see, this product name has the same tag and same class. In the same way, if I wanted to extract this number, this price of the product, if I go back and just click on this price of the product, what is a tag for the price? What is a tag for the price? You can see from here. What is a tag for the price? Div, right? And what is a class? What is a class? The class for the price is this. Now, if you see, this class and this tag will remain same for all the price items on this website, which is mentioned in each of these containers. Even if I go to the 10th page and try to take, I'm sorry, my net is a bit slow. Okay, or I'll just go to some other page. I think it's taking a bit time. Yeah, I'm on 10th page, and even on the 10th page, if let's say I wanted to extract this price, you'll see the tag and the class for this price remains same as the tag and the class for the price of a product which was listed on the first page, which was listed on the second page, which was listed on the third page, and so on. If from a website, I am able to identify these tags and these classes by using certain packages in Python, I can actually extract the entire information from this website. Okay, and which is going to be very easy for me to do that. Once I'm able to identify that this price is being identified by what tag and what class. In the same way, if you want to extract this rating, let's say you wanted to extract the rating of each mobile, what is the tag and the class for the rating? Can you see over here? Can you tell me if my cursor is visible? What do you think is the tag for the rating and the class for the rating? Yeah, the tag is div. What do you understand by the class? What is the class for rating? Exactly, HGSR34. And this will remain same for all the ratings which are written for each and for any product over here. So even if I go to any page of this website and I wanted to take any of the ratings, let's say if I wanted to take this rating, you see the tag and the class remains same. Now this is that hidden structure of an HTML which helps you to scrap the data from any website. Now, however, you might be thinking, then how safe is my data on my website? If because this is nothing like restricted, I can go to any website. Let's say even if I go to this website, I do a right click go to inspector, I can find out the tags and the classes for, you see, I can find out the tag and the classes for anything. Let's say I wanted to find out for this. I can find out the tag and the classes for any part of this, any part of this website. Then how safe my website is. So the point is this, most of this website will allow, to scrap the data which is publicly available. Now, what is the meaning of the word publicly available? Imagine, do you think there is any confidential, confidential information in this, where my cursor is right now? Do you think any confidential information is there? Don't you think it is available to whole public, or don't anyone can come and search and look for, the Vivo and so on, right? So by using scrapping, you can only extract that part of your of your website which is publicly open, but you cannot go into any of an account. Let's say if I wanted to go to the user's account of Flipkart and I try to extract, or let's say, I try to extract the order details, or I try to extract the profiles, the user profiles on the Flipkart, that will not be possible, because that's a kind of an restricted values, or that's a kind of unrestricted data which is confidential by the privacy laws and all that stuff, right? So by using the scrapping, you can extract the data which is publicly visible, which is good enough for me to do a lot of analysis, right? Which is good enough for me to understand that the same Vivo mobile, Vivo U10, whether it is being sold cheaper on a Flipkart versus Amazon versus any other website which we find like selling mobile might be, and also, so I can do a lot of competitive analysis as a part of it on that part, right? How do we do this in Python is a task. To be honest, I'm not going to make you a Python expert. Okay, I'm not going to make you a Python expert over here. Just wanted to understand, have you guys had a bit of an experience on working on Python? If the majority says no, then I'm going to just run you through fast. But if the majority says yes, then I can also explain you. Oh, fantastic. So you guys have an experience of working on Python. Fantastic. Then let me just go back and quickly open a Jupyter notebook. I'll be using a Jupyter notebook over here. I'll just say a web scrapping demo. Okay. I'm gonna install my libraries, or I'm gonna call my libraries. So the libraries which we'll be using for this purpose, now that's the most interesting part. There are multiple libraries which we use for scrapping. However, in Python, the best library which can help you is a beautiful soup library. Okay, so I'm gonna say that's BS4 stands for beautiful soup fourth version. I'm gonna import a package known as it's beautiful soap. I will also import a package known as RE, and I will also import a request library. And from request library, I'm going to get a function known as get. Right now, let's go back here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to first show you what are the steps involved in any web scrapping. The step number one is to find the tag and the class for your master container. Or I would say I will add one more step over here so that it's easy for you to understand. I'm going to say, let's say, connect with the web page. I'm going to first connect with the web page. Now I will go over here to my Flipkart, and let's say I'm going to search for something known as smart TVs. Let's assume I'm going to search for a smart TV over here. I got this. This is my web page which I wanted to, or this is my web link which I want to connect with. I'm going to copy this web link. go to my path. I'm going to create a variable known as URL, and I will be pasting this part over here. This is my web page, okay, as a complete web page part of it. All right. The next thing what we need to do, we need to create step 2. We need to create a response object. Now, what is the meaning of the word response object? Now, let me tell you. I have a URL. Now, using this URL, I need to connect my Jupyter with this page to get the structure of this page, right? I need to connect my Jupyter notebook or my Python to this page, this Flipkart page, so that I can get the structure and all that stuff from this particular page. So I'm going to use this get command to connect my Jupyter notebook with this link. I'm going to use this get command, this get function, to get my URL. And then the step number 3, which is very important. Step number 3, I will get the HTML structure of, I will get the HTML structure, this entire HTML structure, this structure which is popping up on your window now. I'm going to get this structure in my Jupyter notebook. Okay, and I'm going to use for that my beautiful soup, this beautiful soup object, to get that structure or to get that HTML structure. And I'm going to say that as, let's say, BS4. I will name it as, let's say, Flip, so that I understand it's for the Flipkart. Beautiful soup. I'm going to give this connection. This is the linkage between my HTML, sorry, between this link and my Jupyter notebook. This is the linkage response. And from there, I need to get a HTML praiser. Now, HTML praiser is nothing but an HTML structure of my entire web page. Okay. This is the step number 4, is the most critical step in any data scrapping. And the most critical step in any data scrapping is this, to find the tag and classes for your master container. Now, let me just tell you what is the meaning of the word master container. Let me just go back to the Flipkart. All right. How many container you see on the first page of this smart TV result? How many containers do you see on the first page? 24. Each of this container will have something known as a master tag and master class. Okay, let me just show you how do we identify. I'm going to slightly expand this to cover the chat window so that it's a bit more visible. Inspect. All right. See here. If I just slightly go back and yes. Yes. You see? Can you tell me, now I'm going to put the chat window back. And let me just put this slightly. Do you see this? Div class bgxx colon 12-12 and all that stuff. Which container I am right now? You can see when I'm going to move my cursor, the containers will also move. The container shade will move. Right now I'm on which container? Out of the 24 containers which are available on the first page, which container I am right now on? The first container. You see here? Now I am on which container? Now my cursor is on the second one. I'm on which container now? Second. Right? And if I slightly go at the bottom, and here also I'm going to slightly go at the bottom, you see? This is my last container. This is my last container. These are known as the master containers. So the tag for the master container will be, you can see, you just need to click over here to get a tag for the master container. The tag and the class for the master container will be, what is the tag you can see over here? What is the tag you can see over here? Div. And what is the class you see over here? Underscore 3O0UO and so on, right? If I go to the second container, that will also be same. The third container, that will also be same, right? So this is going to be my master tag, and this is going to be my master class. This is going to be my master class. Okay, I'm going to use this master tag and master container to create a kind of an structure, or I would rather say to create a kind of an to understand that how can I scrap the data from individual containers, and then I can use a simple loop, for loop, to scrap my entire data from the entire Flipkart website. Okay, let's try doing that. So I'm going to create a master container over here. And the master container can be created by using your beautiful soup object, because this object contains your entire HTML structure. So I'm going to use this object, bs4.flip object. And in this, I'm going to find all the containers where I'm going to find all the containers wherever your let's say the tag is div, and the class is your this one. Okay, now see what will happen with this. If sorry, what happened? Response. Okay, my bad. The spelling is wrong. Sorry, SPO. Sorry. BS. Oh, okay. Yes. Correct. This is okay. This is BS underscore. Perfect. Yes. It's giving me an error. Response has no length. Okay. Let me just find out. Object name. Okay. Which tag it shows? RESPO. And 1 second. I think my URL has an issue. Just a second. I'm going to go to my second page and check my URL end part. What is the end last part of my URL? Which is 2. So I'm going to put this as 1. Yeah, and I'm going to take this URL. And let me put this entire URL. Let me just put this. You have to be slightly careful when you're choosing your URL. You see here, the page is equals to 1. That's gonna, because previously it was only up to the backfill. 1 second. I'm gonna say my response object and HTML tracer. Let me just create this master container in the next row. Let me just see whether my BS4 is giving me the structure or not. This is the problem. PONSC response, PON. Why it is giving me an error? There's no length. Just a second. If I change this to my If I change it to, let's say, 10, will it go to the 10th page? Yeah, it's going to the 10th page. The URL is correct. HTML tracer. Okay, let me just import. It is object of a type response has no length. Okay, just give me a second. I'll take it one by one. Let me just debug. Yes, it works till here. And then what happened? So let me just write this again. Beautiful soup. And I'm going, oh, sorry, my bad. Because I'm interested. Yeah, I'll tell you what is the difference between that. Text. I tell you why. Because it also contains images. Okay, I'm interested only in the text part of it. That's the reason it was giving me an error. HTML.tracer. And if I say my BS4 underscore Philip, yeah, it's working now. And now I can make my master container. I can create a variable container, master container, and I'm going to use my BS4 object dot find underscore all the containers whoever has the tag of div, and the class is, what is the class we have taken? Let me just go back over here, and what was the class? Okay, I can copy from here. I think it is there in the chat window. I'll copy it from here and I'll go back over here and I'm going to paste this. All right. If I just do the length of this master container, what do you think I should get as an output? How many containers are there on the first page? And remember, exactly, I'm just taking only the first page right now. I should get 24 as an output, which means I'm able to now praise, or I'm able to now, I'm in a control of this 24. Let me just go back to the first page. Okay, I'm in a control of those 24 containers, text part of those 24 containers, which are there on the first page so far. Now, what I can do by using this master container, I can scrap the things one by one, or I can also scrap the thing all together. Just to give you an idea about it, let's say, imagine I'll go back to my first page. And let's say I wanted to scrap this name. I wanted to scrap this name of the mobile. Can you tell me for the name of the mobile, what is a tag and what is a class? For the name of the mobile, what is a tag and what is a class? You can see over here for the name of the mobile, div, and yes, so there, let me just copy this class. So using this master container, let's say if I just say master underscore container, I'll go to the first container. All of you know that in Python, indexing starts from 0. So first container means index value of 0, right? And if in this, I use a command known as find everything with a tag of div and class of, sorry, my bad, class of this. And if I see over here, I can see the name of the mobile coming up over here on my screen, right? The name of the mobile is coming up over here on my screen. I want only this text part, so I can just simply say dot text, and you'll see, you'll get the name of the mobile on your screen. Now, this was only one mobile name. How many such mobiles are there on my first page? How many such mobiles are there on my first page? I have 24 such mobiles on my first page. So I know very well, once I'm able to create my master container and I know the individual tags and individual classes to scrap the name. So let me just put a thing, what all things we will scrap right now so that it become easy. We will scrap uh, first the name of the mobile. And what is a tag for that? The tag for that is div, and the class for that is this one. Second, let's say, I will also take the price. Just keeping in mind that we have a very small time, I'm going to just take two of this. Price of the mobile. So I will go back and check the tag and the class of the price. What is the tag and what is the class of the mobile? Sorry, the price, the tag is div, and the class is this. You can see it is stored over here, 12,499. This is what is stored. So tag is div and class is this part. Now what I can do, I can create a for loop, okay, to find the name and the, let's say, the price of all the products from page 1. So to create that, I'm going to first create an empty list. All of you know what is the concept of empty list. I'm going to say name as my one empty list, and I'm going to say price as my another empty list, right? And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to write this entire formula. I'm going to write all these things in a for loop. I will be writing all these things in a for loop. Okay, so I'm going to say, let's say, for x in the range. Okay, let me also tell you. Right now we are scrapping only from which page? Right now we are scrapping only from which page? Only from the first page. If I have to go from the first page to second page, what will change in my URL? If I have to go from the first page to second page, what the only thing will change? Page equals to X, correct? So if you see this last part, which is page equal to, okay, only this part will change. Only this part will change. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be scrapping, let's say, from page 1 to page 5. I can write a simple for loop for X in range of 1 to 5. Okay, I'm going to first create a URL, a dynamic URL. And how my dynamic URL will be? URL equal to, I'm going to copy this entire URL, but I will make one small change in that. I'm going to copy this and I will paste over here, and I will make one small change in that. Rather than this one, you see at the end where the page equals to 1 was there, I have removed that. I am not keeping anything. I'm just keeping page equal to. And here I'm going to say a string of X, which means what? In the first iteration, X value will be 1. So this will become page equals to 1. In the second iteration, X value will be 2. So this will become page equals to 2, and so on, right? That's my first. That's the first thing I'm going to do. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get this response variable. And I'll just copy and paste from top. Just keep the indentations in mind. Third, I'm going to do, I'm going to get my master, I'm going to get my beautiful soup object and the master container. Can anybody tell me, if I wanted to extract from the first 5 pages of Flipkart, what will be the length of my master container? Each page gives you 24 objects. So what will be the length of my master container if I'm scrapping from the first 5 page? Exactly. Your 24 into 5 as a part of it, right? And from here, I will start scrapping the name and price. I will say for Y in my master container. Y in my master container, if I will first phrase the name, I will first take the name of the product and I'm going to say, let's say TV underscore name. I'll give some variable, some random variable. I'm going to say Y dot find. How do I find the name of the name of the TV? How I was able to find the name of the TV individually? You can see over here. Where was that? Yeah. How I was able to find out the name of the TV? How I was able to find out this name of the TV? By using which tag and which class? This tag and this class, right? So I'm going to say over here, find everything with a tag of div and class underscore of, let me just copy this class. Okay. And I will keep on getting these names. These names I will be appending or I will be adding in which list? I will keep on adding this name as a tags, as a list element in this empty list, right? So I'm going to say name dot append. All of you have a fair bit of an idea about what a list is in Python. If you have done Python, then you will be having an idea about list and you will also be having an idea about the append command, right? And now I'm going to find the price of the TV. TV price. This is the last thing, guys. I'm done then. I will just take the same, which is my just a second. Yeah, I will just take the price. Where is the class I have written? Yeah, here. Sorry, my bad. This is the class. So I'm going to say price y dot find of all class underscore and this is, and I'm going to keep on appending this in this list, this empty list, which is the price list. Price dot append with my TV price. I'm just, for the time being, because we have only a limited hours, I'm just giving only these two. Otherwise, you can continue scrapping whatever you want to scrap on that part, and I'm going to run my code. It's taking some time. I can convert this entire thing into a data frame, list into a data frame. Okay, and I'm gonna, let's say flip underscore df is equals, these are the lists, so I can simply use my pandas. Pandas is again another library. Data frame, and inside this I'm going to pass the, which is your name, a dictionary, and the price, which is your, what is the name of the dictionary? Price. Sorry, name of the list, price. And you can see over here, I have the name of my mobile coming up over here. and I have the price coming up over here. And if you just see the shape of this, uh, okay, it has. Can anybody tell me why it has scrapped only 96 and not 120? Why it has scrapped only 96 and not 120? If you guys are a bit of exactly, because in Python the upper range is not considered. So when I say 1 to 4, 1 to 5, it will only go up to the fourth page. So if you want up to the 5, you may need to make it as 6, and then you need to convert this into the data. Now you will get it 120 as an output, right? Of course, I need to do a bit of data cleansing over here, like removing these brackets and modification and all that stuff. But if you see, I can write my entire script something like this to scrap whatever the information I want from a web page, and I can automate this entire script, let's say every month, so that I am aware about that which are the new products which has come up on the Flipkart website, and what are the amount or what is the price Flipkart is selling those products into. Now this saves a lot of time and effort, a manual effort and a manual time, and it helps me to do a quick competitive analysis that okay, am I 43-inch full HD smart Android TV Flipkart is selling for 21,999. Me as an Amazon, what am I selling on? And so on. This was small. So I would say I have not even touched a tip of a data scrapping. There are a lot of things which can be done in a data scrapping in terms of automation, in terms of writing, slightly more in-depth kind of an algorithms to get a bit more clear picture about the product features, product images, and all that stuff, right? But yeah, you can do this entire thing if you are able to identify the tag of your products, whatever you want to scrap, and if you are able to identify the class of it, right? That's all from my side, guys, on this. I tried my best in terms of covering whatever I can do it in 1 hour's time. But please do go back and explore a lot in terms of learning it by using Beautiful Soup. Beautiful Soup. That's the one library which you should learn if you want to go into in depth in web scraping. And the second is Selenium. Selenium. Selenium also gives you a comfortability to automate this entire feature of scripting, so that at a specific time frame, at a specific period, your script will run automatically and you will have your entire public information about your competitor right in front of you, and then you can do any kind of a data manipulation or any kind of a data processing to know how your competitor is performing versus you as a part of it, right? Perfect. I'm open for your queries, guys, and we can have a Q&A, not only from the scrapping point of view or from any other things which you wanted to know from data analytics or data science point of view also. Please feel free to ask me. As a div, can we scrap both? Difficult to I'm not so as a div, so I'm assuming that is div, right? Or as a ops developer. Okay, as a developer, can we make scrappy boards? Yes, we can make scrappy boards. In fact, there are boards which can help you to scrap the data automatically at a given point of in time, so you can develop that. There are few libraries which you should do, or I would rather say you can also take a help of something known as Pandora. Okay, you may want to explore Pandora in terms of developing this scrappy bots which can help you to scrap the things automatically. And I'm assuming when you say bots, your basic understanding about the bots is like, let's give an example like a chatbot. Okay, a similar kind of stuff. What a chatbot does, can I do the same thing to scrap the data? right? That's my understanding from your question. Yeah. Any other queries, guys? Yeah, I'm open for any query related to this or any. So don't restrict yourself only to this. You can ask me anything from the analytics. How to pass data from PHP to Python, from create for creating a front end. Now, Nivedita, that's a question for a developer and not for the analytics. That how do I pass my data from PHP to Python? Now, if you wanted to pass your data from a PHP to Python, for analytics purpose, that is where you can use the response objects of beautiful soup and all that stuff. But if you want to pass your data from a developing point of view, when I say developing, let's say for example you wanted to develop a application, a end user application, where your data cleansing and data processing and all that stuff is happening in Python, but your end application is a PHP. If that is your question, then you might have to use for some connectors. There are a lot of Python connectors which are available for PHP. You might need to explore that from a front end point of view. But from a data analytics point of view, it is a simple, you can use any response objects of beautiful soups or the response objects from what you called Selenium and so on. Is web scraping skill alone help? No, no. Just web scraping skill will not alone help you in getting a data analytics job. Okay. If you want to make your career in data analytics, you should have the following: one, statistics; two, a programming language, any programming language, R or Python or Julia or whatever it is; three, a fantastic knowledge about DV, which is a data visualization in a form of either a Power BI or Tableau or ClickView, etc. Okay, that's the third thing. Most important, predictive analytics, which we also call it as ML, machine learning. Okay, and then the last is something known as UDA, unstructured data analytics. Okay, like analyzing text, analyzing videos, analyzing audios, and so on. This I would rate the 5 skills which you should have if you are looking for a job in an analytics industry. Right? What else I can do for you guys? So if we don't have any further queries, I think we are good to call for a day. Or I'm going to take another 2 minutes if anyone has any queries. We are at 8:08. Let's be a round off at 8:10 if anyone has any queries. Yeah. Okay. Any other application of web scraping apart from data analytics? I would say, mm, let me just give you an example. Uh, if you are a consultant, let's say if I give you a simple example, if you are a financial consultant, okay, you might want to track the flow of your equities or whatever it is on the stock exchange. Now they are doing two ways of it. One, you can use a APIs. Let's say, for example, I can go back to NSC website and I can use an API to basically monitor live monitoring of my stock prices. Or the second thing I can do, I can basically also do a scrapping and automate it. Okay, because some of the stock exchange doesn't give you an API to basically monitor those data and all that stuff. That's one application you can do it. Other application I can basically say, if I wanted to do a data storage, or I wanted to create a NoSQL data, let's say in form of a MongoDB and something, there also we have a good amount of dependency on web scraping if I wanted to, or if I wanted to design something known as a data lake, not data warehouse. I'm not talking about the structured data like SQL and all that stuff. I'm talking about the completely unstructured data like data lakes and all that stuff. That's where we also required a bit of data scrapping as a part of it. Akshay, for practicing ML, how can we come across the computation power limited? Use GPUs, Akshay. Use GPUs. If you are not sure about the uses, or you do not have a high computation power, I would give you a simple example. Rather than using an offline Jupyter notebook, use a Google Colab, because Google Colab normally gives you a 16 GB GPU, okay, which is a bit faster. Use a parallel processing. For example, use big data Hadoop, okay, to do a cluster computing. That's going to help you a bit more, faster processing and all that stuff. So you have to have a dependency on that. Either use a GPUs or use a cluster computing or parallel computings by using big data. So you might also need to have a dependency on something known as Spark or Storm and Cassandra in terms of doing those computational power limitations or overcoming those computational power limitations. Right, Akshay? If it is not a very big computation which you need to do, but you are not able to do that in your laptop, I would say go for Google Colab. It gives you a slightly, rather than CPU, it gives you a GPU, a 16 GB GPU. Perfect. All right, so I think I'm done for the day. Yeah, Arjun?
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for the session. Yeah. Over to, Prapanch or Shabisa, please, over to you.
Yeah. Okay, so we can wind up the session. Before winding up, let me thank Mr. Amit Choudhary for delivering such a wonderful session. Indeed, it was an edifying session. I would say it was a really clear session that even those who had no idea about the topic, it was really easy for them to understand. Next, I would like to thank Mr. Arjun Sundaresan and Shabir KP sir for giving us the opportunity to handle the session. Last but not least, I would like to thank all the attendees who actively participated in the session. We also had Mr. Sean Jose, who is an YP member of IEEE Kerala section. Thank you, sir. Thank you all.
Thanks, everyone. Have a nice weekend. Enjoy time with your family and be safe.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. See you next week with a different topic. Thank you. Thank you all. Bye.